Shields here, Network Las Vegas. Have you heard of this networking group, Network Las Vegas? Guess what? There's some really cool stuff going on with Network Las Vegas, very different from a lot of networking groups. Today, we're going to talk with David Smith of Network Las Vegas, and we're going to learn a little bit more about it. Stay tuned. All right, here we go. Network Las Vegas, next generation networking. I thought I was going to
You got it. Very good.
I thought I was going to have that perfect, and I didn't. So at any rate, it's all good. Here we go. And let's bring on David Smith, who is president of Network Las Vegas. So how are you today, Mr. David?
Excellent. Happy to be on, Stan.
Good. So this is our spotlight broadcast, and we do this usually before every meeting to highlight the speakers who are going to be speaking at that particular meeting. Well, this is an off week for us. We don't have our meeting this week, and we had some scheduling challenges last week, and so we did not have the broadcast. But here's the thing: we want to talk with David today, really more about what are the kinds of things that we're doing inside of Network Las Vegas and what makes it a little bit different than maybe some of the other networking groups that you've been to. So before we dive into exactly what David wants to talk about today, David, give everybody a little bit of an overview. What's your take? Network Las Vegas, what is it? Why should people come check us out? What are your thoughts?
Okay, Network Las Vegas, you're going to find out today, really. And we're always doing innovative things. And last week, as I was getting ready for the meeting, we had a situation where our speaker, didn't show up at the last minute. And so here we have our networking meeting, no speaker. And I got to thinking, what can we do to really create a spotlight, not just on one speaker, but on every member of the group. And here's the thing. It's not what you know about your business that really makes a difference. It's not what you say and communicate about your business that makes a difference, no matter how impactful your communication is. It's not what's on your website that makes the difference. We all go to all these, we go to networking groups, and we all give our 60-second commercial, and then we have a member spotlight, and we communicate a whole lot about our business. But here's the thing. What's really important is what others ultimately know about our business. So I got to thinking, what do people really know about the business of others in this networking group? We do a lot of communicating. We give our member spotlights, the commercials, and we do it week after week in our networking groups. And how often do we actually check? We pause to check in and see what the other members of the group have really picked up. And some of us in Network Las Vegas has been together for about 18 months. And so we thought, what we're going to do is on this day, and we did it last week, we're going to continue next week. We decided that we're going to focus on one member at a time. And when it's that member's turn, that member can only state their name and their profession as it's basically printed on their business card. So you can say, hey, I'm, David Smith, a realtor. I'm not a realtor, but I'm just giving an example. And that's it. And now everybody else in the group gets to say what they know about you. If you're new in the group, nobody's ever seen you before, you state your name and your profession, and then everyone else in the group gets a chance to say what they know about your profession. And so you've got a combination of people who are long timers, and we've heard their commercial for 18 months, and we give them feedback. This is what I know about you. And there are new people, and we give them feedback. This is what I know about your profession. You can't say a word. You just take notes. And what you're going to hear is three types of information. One is you're going to hear information that you really appreciate. These, you're going to say, wow, I communicated this well. People are speaking back, and they're saying what I would really like them to know about me. Now, there's another type of information you're going to hear, and it's going to be mistaken information. There's going to be people saying things that, no, this isn't what I do. I've been trying to make this clear for 18 months, and it's still not come through. Well, okay, you cannot correct it. You just listen, you take notes. And the third type of information that you're going to hear is actually what you don't hear. It's going to be things that you know about yourself that are really important about your business and your profession that people don't even mention. Oh, you missed this. This is like my main thing, and nobody knows about it. And so it's very, very instructive. So you're just listening, you're taking notes, and then you come back the next week, and that's when you're going to fill in the gaps. And so it just seemed like it was really important for us to pause after 18 months and to ask the question, what have I really communicated about my business after all this time? Because when you're in those networking groups and you give your 60-second commercial, then the next one gives theirs, the next one gives theirs. And a lot of times people are thinking about what they're going to say, or they're thinking about what they said, and they're not listening to what you're actually saying. So, what do people, and then 2 or 3 days later, you're out of sight, out of mind. And then you've got people that give the same commercial week after week. And they say just one thing, and people can parrot that back. Maybe they got a really catchy phrase and people parrot that back, but do they really understand your business? So, Stan, you asked what's different about Network Las Vegas. Is we're always working on cutting edge approaches to do networking better, to really stand out. And this is one of those approaches, just to pause and ask, what are we actually communicating? What are people actually hearing about your business? Because once again, it's not what you know about your business. It's not what you communicate about your business. It's not what's on your website. It's what other people know that makes the difference.
Yeah.
And how often do we ask, what do others know? What are
well, we have been doing that literally pretty much for the whole 18 months, because we had a regular practice of, once we did the 30-second commercials, of then coming back and asking people, going around the room and saying, what did you hear? Right. And so we've been doing that for quite a while in this group. And that actually is very useful. Most of us aren't all that fond of it. However, it's very useful. and I say that because, our minds check out. I mean, you hit on it earlier that somebody says one phrase that now your mind checks out and it goes on to that thing, and you're not hearing everything else that comes along. And we see this all the time with movies, right? We watch a movie the first time, we say, wow, that was a great movie. You watch it the second time and you see scenes that you did not see the first time. And you're going, wait, how did I not see that happen the first time? And then if you watch it a third time, you'll still see scenes that you did not see the first few times that you watched it, right? Well, it's the same principle when we're in meetings or even in conversations or reading books or you name it, where somebody will say something that maybe triggers something in our brain and we go off onto that. We don't hear everything else that happened. And we're only talking about a 30 to 60-second commercial. So it's really tough to get your message, your full message across in that short time frame and in a way that people actually retain what it is that you said to them, not what they heard, but what you said to them, what you're trying to get them to hear, right? So I think that's a pretty useful tool to then really have people replay or tell the group what is it that they heard about a particular business. I think that's a pretty good exercise.
Well, we've got a copywriter in the group, for example, and he has a phrase that everyone could say when everyone in the group could say back what this person is about. Yeah. And his phrase is, when you're speaking to everyone, you're speaking to no one.
Yep.
And that's really good. People can say that back, but you're talking about networking. And if you're talking about networking, is that really going to help your networking partners to bring you business? And so we've got to be able to communicate more deeply about what we do. Are people going to say, well, this guy can help you write a blog. This guy can help you write website pages. This guy can help you write your 60-second commercial. And let's go deeper. And your networking partners need to know, 3 or 4 levels deeper about who you are and what you do. And
well, that opens up an even bigger question, though. Okay. And that bigger question is, you can't learn that much about people in a 30-second or a 60-second commercial. You have to then set up a one-to-one so that you can actually spend some time getting to know each other, right? And of course, they really should be strategic one-to-ones with people that are maybe even power partners, or what do you call them? JV partners, I think, right?
Joint venture.
And so, this whole online world, JV partners is kind of a common phrase there, but I like the joint venture partners, right? But it's you can't get all of it across in 30 to 60 seconds. What you could possibly do, though, is pique the interest. But then the next critical step is actually doing those one-to-ones with people.
Well, that's a very good point. You need to have the one-to-ones. However, when you're talking to your networking group over and over, you're meeting, you're saying, we need one-to-ones. We need one-to-ones. We need one-to-ones. Well, it was time for a wake-up call. And, people don't really get it. They don't. And when they find out how little people know about them, maybe they start getting a little more interested in those one-to-ones.
That's a good point. Yeah.
There's a lot of people in the group that don't do the one-to-ones, and we can say everyone needs to do one-to-ones till we're blue in the face. But it's just not going to happen until they get the wake-up call and find out how little people know about them. You mentioned that that we do check in often, and we have been doing that in the networking group, and that's one exercise that we've done over time, where after the commercials, we would go back and say, what did this person say? And that's a good check-in. But this is different. This was more global. This is like, okay, you're not even giving your commercial today. Now we're going to say what we actually have learned over time. And you can't say anything. All you can do is listen. And so that's where this was a little different. But as you can see, one of the differences with Network Las Vegas is that we're not just continuing to give out information and go through all the motions of networking. we're pausing to see how effective is our networking.
Right.
Because, yeah.
All right. So we are we're coming up on the end of our time for this, but let's do this. Tell people, how do they find more info about Network Las Vegas, and how do they join us for a meeting so they can see for themselves?
Okay, just go to networklasvegas.com, and you see it right on the screen here. That's right above my head.
There we go, right there.
and so go to networklasvegas.com. You will see on the home page the schedule of our meetings. You just click on the link for the next meeting. It'll go right to the Zoom registration page. You register and you show up at the time of the meeting. You just log into Zoom and you're on.
So we are virtual for the regular meetings still, but then there is a once a month. Is it right? Once a month, a in-person meeting.
Yeah. We have a once a month social. It is supposed to happen this Wednesday. Our social, the person that coordinates these socials got a full-time job, and so we're regrouping and not going to have a social this month.
Okay.
We're going to regroup and then go for our second Wednesday evening, 5 to 7, business after hours social, probably be at Yard House and in Red Rock. And we'll resume those next month, the second Wednesday of October.
Second Wednesday of October is the 13th. So October 13th is when we expect that we'll have the next one.
Lucky 13. Yes.
Lucky 13. Awesome. Perfect. All right. Well, you know what? That was awesome. And that was very informative. Great. A new way to kind of think about the whole networking and the messaging and trying to gain some clarity around it, all of that. So appreciate the time. Any last parting words before we exit?
Well, all I can say is that Network Las Vegas is always about next generation networking, cutting edge networking, and it's going to be unique and different than other networking groups, and it's really a trend setter. Other groups are going to be copying what we do, but find it first in this community.
Awesome. All right. We will see you for the next speaker spotlight. Just keep watching your Facebook. And this one was broadcast on LinkedIn on my channel. And so keep looking at your social media for the next speaker spotlight, which probably will be next Wednesday, which is not, this is the 8th, maybe Wednesday the 15th. We'll see. All right. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah.